Does not matter what the world has to offer, but home is where your heart is. Your country is where you excited about first and foremost, and I'm so happy to be back home. But I want to also appreciate the leadership that our acting Prime Minister provided in my absence, and all the cabinet members as well as our members of Parliament. They hold the fort in our absence, or in my absence rather. And I attended the recently concluded 53rd Pacific Island Forum Nations meeting. As we all know, this is an important meeting that convenes every year, where Forum Nations, the entire 18 of us, some territories and all nations, attend to have discussions on issues of common interest. More so, as you all know, we are exposed to the climate change related issues, the weather pattern change, sea level rise, desalination of arable land, and erosion of land for that matter. And so that conversation remains the single most important issue that all nations in the Pacific raised. I want to also indicate the economy issues. Many of our small nations, if not all of us, feeling the pains of the continued effect of COVID-19, as well as the long-standing disputes that are happening in Middle East and Eastern Europe. Those have effects in small island nations, especially in cost of fuel, cost of food. All import food from outside to supplement their own domestic food supply. So the economic issues were discussed also at that level, with the cost of living that has increased being discussed at the forefront. Education and health issues received prominence, with the ever-increasing lifestyle-related disease in Pacific Island, diabetics on the rise, many lifestyle-related issues, and many of the small-lying islands far removed from hospital facilities. And so conversation rotated around how we all could coexist and help each other across borders. Conversation also deeply centered on law and order, being evident now, where high sea crime, whether it's illegal drug trafficking, or criminals moving from island to island, or issues of illegal fishing that is on the rise in our ocean. And so those issues came to the forefront. And also in terms of politics, the fact that Pacific Island wants to remain friends to all, enemies to none, as most of you know, a core foundational PNG foreign policy that we relate to all, and we will not be forced to choose an allegiance, an alliance with, especially when the major super power nations are at play, or at the force that comes in between. And speaking at that, I was pleasantly pleased, and I did commend both China and US on the maturity they showed at the PIF. For the first time, they found a common ground, acknowledging that the Pacific Island nations need both their support. I want to particularly pay my appreciation to Chinese, the special envoy there, a very high special envoy. He stick to the area of trade and commerce, and gave full assurance that China is on standby to buy any produces the Pacific Island nations produce. China is not here to take over any place. China is here to assist work in the area of space trade and humanitarian issues, and relate at areas of need, especially in education, health, and other aspects. So that was commendable, and he also endorsed the U.S. Deputy Secretary of State, Dr. Kat Campbell's position that they're not here to contest with China or anyone, but to work together in helping Pacific Island nations get going. So I just thought that was the highlight of 53rd PIF. That's my fifth PIF. DPM did attend that last PIF, and I think on the 6 times together under awards we've attended, for me that's the first time I saw greater interest in Pacific Island nations. We had representations from over 5 nations in Europe, over 4 nations in Africa, And of course, you had U.S. And North America, and we have Brazil for South America, and one or two other South American countries showing their presence at PIF with the entire Asian nations, the big nations in Asia: Korea, Japan, Indonesia, China, India, Philippines, Thailand, right all the way back to Middle East, UAE, as well as Israel. So it is a pretty congested meeting space where the world's attention sort of were drawn into the issues that were discussed in Pacific. In case you all need to know, our airspace is huge, combined putting together all Pacific nations together, and our ocean space is huge. And so these are resources that is there. Once we are united together as a bloc, we remain a strong voice on any issues that we could seek to address going forward. So PNG space in all conversations were absolutely necessary and needed. Outside of Australia and New Zealand, we remain the biggest nation that the entire Pacific Island nations look upon to, and so they valued our contributions at all levels.